Hello everyone, I am Rashi Goyal and I am pursuing BLLB from University of Petroleum and Energy Studies, Dehradun. And currently I am a legal intern at Lexis & Company. So in today's video, I'll be talking about breach of contract. Yes, it's a part 2 video. In the previous video, I have talked about what is the breach of contract, actual damages or loss, what happens after the breach of contract, types of breach of contract, and what is the difference between material and minor breach of contract. So in this video, I'll be talking about defenses to the breach of contract and the remedies which are available for the breach of contract. So let us start with the defenses to a breach of contract lawsuit. As in all lawsuits, the defendant, that is, the party being sued, has a legal right to offer a reason why the alleged breach is not really a contract breach, or why breach should be excused. It is called defense legally. So the first defense that is available is fraud. Fraud means to know about the fact of misrepresentation or to hide a fact in order to make someone more to act to their own detriment. If a defendant presents the defense, he says that the contract is not valid because the claimant has a failure or has not made a misrepresentation about material or important fact. It is because he makes a representation against the material offense. The defendant has to prove that the fraud is deliberate. Now let's talk about second defense, that is duress. This happens when one person forces another person to sign a contract through physical force or other threats. This can also invalidate a contract since both the parties did not sign it from free will. A standard contractual requirement is incomplete. Third defense available is mistake. There are two types of error in contract law: mutual error and unilateral error. In the event of mutual mistake, both parties make an error in respect of the contract, and it is usually a matter of whether the parties actually met. A question arises in such situations of the very existence of the contract. If the error changed the topic or the purpose of the contract substantially, the court would not implement it. And a unilateral error occurs when only one party is wrong with the contract. Unilateral error is usually not the basis for the contract cancellation. However, if one party was wrong or knew that the other party was wrong and did nothing to correct it, the court will probably not enforce the contract. And the fourth last defense is statute of limitation. Many types of cases have time limits which is imposed by law. Deadlines by which a case must be brought and filed. A case of contract infringement may be dismissed if the defendant can show that the period of limitation has expired. The statutes of limitation cases are based on time limits that may vary according to the law of the individual state. The mentioned period is 3 to 6 years for a written contract. Now further, let's talk about the remedies which are available for the breach of contract. The other party to the agreement is entitled to relief or remedy under the law when an individual or a business breaches a contract. So there are basically three main remedies for a breach of contract, that is damages, specific performance, and cancellation and restitution. So first remedy that is available is damages. Payment of damages is the most common remedy for a breach of contract. There are many types of damages, that is compensatory damages that should be made to place the non-violator in the position that it was if the violation has not taken place. Second is punitive damages. It is the amount to be paid by the infringing party above and beyond the extent to which the infringing party would be fully compensated. Punitive damages is intended to punish an illegal person for particularly unlawful acts and is seldom granted when entering into a commercial contract. Third is nominal damages, that are token damages which are awarded when a breach occurred, but no actual loss of money has been proved to the non-infringing party. And fourth is specific damages, that is previously identified in the contract itself by the parties. If the contract is broken, are liquidated damages. A reasonable estimate of actual damage resulting from a breach should be made by liquidated damages. Now, second remedy that is available is specific performance. If the damage is inadequate as a legal remedy, the non-infringing party may seek an alternative remedy called specific performance. Specific performance by contravening the party is best described as the court-ordered fulfillment of the contractual duty. If the subject matter of the agreement is rarity or unique, and if the damage is not sufficient to a position that the non-breakers as good as it had been when the violation has not taken place, specific performance may be employed as a remedy for the breach of contract or agreement. And third remedy that is available is cancellation and restitution. A non-infringing party may cancel the contract and sue for the restitution if the non-infringing party has provided a benefit to the infringing party. As a contract remedy, recovery means that non-infringing party is re-established in the pre-infringement position, while cancellation means that the contract will be cancelled and all the parties will be relieved of any obligation under the agreement. Thank you everyone for watching my video. I hope you like it, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family. And don't forget to let me know your feedback in the comment section. Stay home, stay safe, stay healthy.